Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Rogers Radio Podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers, and today you get to listen to me again. And I am really thrilled about this episode because we are over 30 episodes in on the Rogers Radio Podcast. How amazing is that? That means I've been dropping them for over almost 30 weeks because there are a couple of bonus episodes in there. And I started this as really nervous, really outside of my comfort zone, and then here we are. And I want to first say thank you. Thank you to everyone that listens each week. We are killing it on the downloads, and it just blows me away every week to see how many of you are listening. It blows me away at the messages that you guys send me. It is so heartwarming, and you just don't understand how great it makes me feel to know that you're getting something from these podcasts and you're listening, that you want to know more, the feedback that you provide me. And when I say this, I truly mean it. I'm receiving messages on Facebook from you guys. I'm receiving emails from you guys on that you're listening and that you got something from it. And that's the whole purpose of this. So I've spent the last over 20 some weeks listening to the feedback, reviewing the feedback, responding back to you because it makes my heart so happy. And then I have come up with what you guys want to hear and what you guys want more of. So we are going to be switching some stuff up going forward. And of course, you know that I announce everything on the podcast first. So the new setup for the Rogers Radio Podcast is going to be separated with different segments each week. So week 1 of the month, a lot of you have said that you want more of an inside view of Rogers and what's going on here and how we do certain things and what we have going on. So the first Wednesday of every month, the episode is going to be me, and I may have a guest, an internal Rogers guest here, depending on what's going on. But week 1 of every month is going to be me here talking to you about the inside view of Rogers, what's happening at Rogers, what happened the month prior at Rogers, the struggles we're facing, the wins that we're facing. So we'll go over that today because this is kind of, I know last week was the first, but we'll treat this week as week 1, and we'll dive in, since this is starting in March, we'll dive into what happened at Rogers in January and February of this year. And then week 2 of each month is going to be, and I have this written down, if you're watching, you see I have all of this good stuff written down so I don't forget and I don't miss anything. So week 2 is going to be a community member. So all of that content that you're used to seeing when I bring in people and I interview them and find out what their story is and learn more about them, I am going to make sure that the second week of every month is a community member telling us their story and how they got to where they are today. Week 3 is going to be a team member. So you're going to get an inside view of Rogers from a current Rogers team member, much like the ones that you've heard. We've had a few in here already, but we will bring some more in, and you'll get to hear their story on how it's been since they've started working at Rogers and what their life was like before and what it is like now. Week 4, I think that we need to take this podcast even broader than Halifax County. People deserve this information. I want people to learn about Halifax County. So we are going to bring in a leader from another county or somewhere else. It can be anywhere in the U.S. It could be someone in the industry. It can be someone outside of the industry. But I'm going to work on reaching out to people outside of Halifax County that have been successful in their life, and we're going to learn about their journey to get to where they are. So I'm excited about that. I have some ideas of some people that I'll get on here. Those I don't know because they may be from all over the U.S. I doubt they'll be sitting here with me, but we're going to do more virtual, and you'll get to see them and the two of us interact. So I'm really excited about that. If you have any suggestions for any guests that you want to see ever, whether they're in Halifax County, whether they're outside of Halifax County, call me, email me, message me, continue doing what you're doing, and I will be sure to reach out to them and get them on here. So just so you know, my email address is alyssa@callrogers.com. You can always send me an email and get me that information and who you want to see more of, if there's an episode you don't really like, email me and let me know so we don't have to, bring that back. I want all the feedback. And then we'll do some episodes, here and there. I'm happy to do some bonus episodes of questions that you have for me or anyone on our team that you want to know answers to. And you send those to me and I'll make sure that we talk about them on this podcast. I'm really excited about this. When I started this, there was really no plan. I just wanted to get to know people better. I wanted to promote Halifax County. I wanted to promote leaders. And then it kind of seemed unstructured to me, and I'm very much a structured person. So here we are, almost 30 weeks later, and we are going to have some structure here, and I am so excited. And I hope you are too. So, very excited about that. And let's talk about some things that have been going on at Rogers this year. So we are now at March 8th. So I'm going to talk about what's happened in January and February so far at Rogers, an inside view of Rogers. And I know you got a little bit of that last week when I was very vulnerable, and I do want to say thank you again to everyone that reached out to me and provided feedback on that episode. I hear you, I support you, and you belong at the table too. So thank you so much for all the positive feedback on that one. But this episode is going to be more of what we've been doing here. What has been going on at Rogers so far this year? And I have written down some of the highlights, and then we'll talk about some things that we learned along the way and that we're working on. So one big thing that we just found out about in February is, I know that you probably heard that we made the Inc. 5000 list. So we are one of the fastest growing companies in America. That's amazing. We were like, out of the 5,000, we're 2,236. Whoa, how cool. Well, we found out a couple weeks ago that we even placed in the regionals. So there was a regional list that they dropped a couple weeks ago. So Inc. regionals in our region, it covers the states of Virginia, Delaware, DC, Maryland, North Carolina, and West Virginia. We found out of all 6 of those states, we are the 68th fastest growing company in the region overall. Whoa, so cool. We are 34th in Virginia, and are you ready for this? 4th in the construction industry. And that's all the trades in construction. So 4th fastest growing construction company in the region. I mean, can we just take a minute and really think about that? Because it makes me a little emotional, because who would have ever thought we would be here, 4th fastest growing construction company in the region out of 6 states. It just makes you feel like, last week I'm talking about I feel vulnerable and I feel like we get sucker punched on a regular basis. And, there are people out there that don't like what we're doing. We're doing something right. We're doing a lot right. And let's celebrate that. So this is major. We have not announced this to the public yet. You're the first to know that we placed, and we'll be, making sure everyone knows about this, but it makes you sit back and think it's all worth it. This is worth it. We're changing lives, and that's what we're here for. So that's something really major. That's something we're really proud of, and that you'll see around, and that we'll be celebrating over the next month. But yay, that's a win, a huge win. Of course, we had a podcast on this, but something big that happened this year so far is we acquired Kerr Lake Heating and Air in Clarksville. So that acquisition is complete, and we are serving customers more customers now that they're calling, and it's just an honor to serve them. It's an honor to be able to acquire another business and know that they trusted us to take on their customer base. So that has been great. That's a huge win. And that is a reminder to you, if you're in business or you are working for a company and you want to grow, always look for opportunities like that. You don't necessarily, if you own a business, always look for those opportunities. Like how can I grow my customer base? And just reach out to people. You never know what may happen. And then if you're in a company and you're working for a company, look for those opportunities and bring them to management. You never know what may happen, and that'll make you really excel in your career. So that's been major for us and a great move, and we're just honored to be able to do that. Something so fun that we did that we have not shown on social media yet. We have company events. We have 4 a year. So they're company-wide. We shut down the company for a few hours, and we plan company events for our employees to show them that we appreciate them and to get together as a team and bond as a team. So we've done all kinds of things over the years. We've gone to the world of sports and done go-karts. We have had cookouts at our shop. We have had a day at Stanton River State Park and played wiffle ball and that kind of stuff. We've done some cool stuff. But let me tell you what we did for our Q1 event this year. We walked on fire. Let that sink in. We walked on fire. And when we first brought this idea up, it's like, like I've said, lots of people around here think that we're crazy already. We're growing and we're doing these things and we're out there in the public. What is the perception going to be when we tell people that we are going to walk on fire? If you want my my honest conversation with the team when I brought this up, I'm like, the question I asked is, are people going to think we're a cult? Like, seriously, that is what I thought. Are people going to think we're a cult if they see videos and pictures of us walking on fire and our team is doing that? No. So we decided, forget it. We're going to do this. Let's do this, because this means more than just walking on fire. This means that we're coming together as a team and we're walking across fire. If we can do that, we can accomplish anything. And let's come together as a team and do this together. And we're going to go through the whole year knowing if a day is going wrong, if something's going wrong in our life, it's like, I walked across fire. I am a badass. Like, I did this. So we had that event. It was so awesome. We brought in a professional fire walker from California. So no, we did not just go to Lowe's and get some firewood and light it on fire and walk across. This was a professional fire walker. Came in from California. Kevin Axtell, shout out to him. He is amazing. He's done he's like a fire expert, and he does other things too, but he's a fire expert. He's been on all kinds of sets that have lots of fire. He's helped usher with some videos and commercials that he's done. So he's legit. Okay, so we bring in Kevin Axtell, legit fire walker, and we have this whole thing set up. We also found a company called Backyard Hibachi. You want to write this down if you want the coolest event ever for your family, friends, company, whoever. It can be 5 people or 50 people or more. Backyard Hibachi, they're in Raleigh. They are a traveling hibachi company. They will come anywhere, and they set up the whole thing just like a hibachi restaurant. They set up in our shop, our warehouse, or supply house. They set up there, and they had all the tables. They bring the tables, the chairs, everything you could imagine that you need to set up a restaurant or an event. They bring it all. They set up the hibachi stuff, and they cook in front of you, and they are amazing. And we had this for our entire team. So they set this all up, And we had hibachi together, and I had to keep with the fire theme. So like the hibachi, fire, all the thing leading up to the event. And then we had an amazing motivational speaker that we Zoomed in, Mike Aguilera. Look him up. He is top notch in personal and professional development. Really great guy. He talked to the team about mind over matter, and your body follows your mind. So if you're telling yourself that you're tired or you're upset or you're nervous about something, your body's going to follow that, and so you're going to be tired and upset and nervous. So I walk around here, and that's kind of what I say during my day too. If I'm upset about something, it's like your body follows your mind. So my body is not going to react well if my mind is saying that I'm upset or I'm tired. So I got to keep pushing forward. And it really does work. Just say that to yourself. Quite often you'll see that it works. But he spoke to us, and then we got to the fire event. And this was not forced on anyone. So we had about 40 people here for this event. We invited a ton of like the vendors that we work with and all of our team members. And so we had about 40 people here, and it was not forced on any of them. Of course, they had to sign waivers, but we told them in the beginning, this is not something you have to do. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, it's here for you. Do you know every single person walked except for three. Every single person except for 3 people walked across the coals. Holy cow. And no one got burned. It was amazing. And it shows you your body follows your mind, and you can do anything that you put your mind to and you say that you're going to do. So freaking cool. I walked across one time. We had multiple people walk across many times. And it is true. Like, this is nothing. Everyone's like, what's the catch? This isn't real. We're not really walking across fire. What's the catch here? It was real fire, real coals, and just an awesome experience to be able to do that with a team of people that we care about and we want to see succeed. And I had one team member afterwards, we were amped up, and you'll see the videos. I'll start posting the videos on social media. I'm excited to share it with everyone. But I had a team member come up to me afterwards, and he said, I'm just ready to accomplish everything. And this team member had just started. It was his first week at Rogers, his first week at Rogers. And I go up to him and I'm like, hey, how was that? Did you enjoy it? And he said, this means so much more to me than just a company event. This means so much more to me than just walking across fire. I'm going to take this through my life, and I'm going to accomplish great things. And let me tell you something. That same team member, I just talked to him on the phone last night, and he is still saying that, and he is crushing his goals right now. Crushing them. I was talking to him on the phone, and I'm like, congratulations. He had a great sale yesterday. And I'm like, you're doing great. He's like, yep, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And it's just beginning. And his mindset is so fierce, and I'm just so excited to see where he goes. But it all started with that conversation at the firewalking event. So that was a really big deal. It's still talked about here, and I cannot wait to share those videos with you. I know I went on a tangent about that, but it was so exciting. And we have to one-up the next event. So we already have the Q2 event in the works, and excited to share that with you when we do that. But it's even better than firewalking. So be on the lookout for me to talk about that. Can't wait. So back to Rogers, in the 2022 was the highest revenue year in company history. Awesome. We worked really hard at that, and we learned a lot from that. So going into this year, we have even bigger goals because, of course, you know me and Joey and our team here, we're very goal-driven, and we're going to have these huge goals every year. And so our goal for 2023 is even higher. We want to crush 2022. But coming off of 2022 and having the highest revenue year in company history, it taught us a lot too. So At the end of 2022, we had the highest revenue months in company history. December was our biggest revenue month in company history. And that was truly because we decided we were no longer going to have any slow seasons in the business. Because you think of HVAC and it's, oh, you're really busy in the summer. Well, how about we find a way to be busy all year? So we worked really hard at that. But we also found a lot of areas, because we pushed so hard, we found a lot of areas that we were failing in as a company. So we have taken a look at that in this year. And this year, we are going to really work on becoming efficient. And to do that, we have to put processes in place. And we have said this every year, so I don't want you to think this is some revelation. Oh, we got to put processes in place. We've been talking about putting processes in place since 2018 when we took this over. It can seem like the easiest thing to do in business. Just put a process in place. How do you do this? Write it down. And everyone, all the coaches we talk to, they're like, okay, you just need to come in every day and you need to write down every single thing that you do throughout the entire day. And then you need to put a process together. And it's like, it sounds so easy, but who? No, I'm not the best at that. So we really need to focus on that. And I'm going to double down and do that and write down everything, because the power of duplication. How are we going to grow this business if we don't duplicate ourselves? And that can be a scary thing to say, right? Because we're taught to think like, I have to do the best at my job. I don't want anyone taking my place. But in a company filled with growth, and there are growth opportunities, I need to hurry it up and duplicate myself so I can grow, and then I can grow someone else into what I'm doing and give them the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to focus really hard on duplicating myself this year. I'm going to focus really hard on processes, and the company as a whole is really going to focus on efficiency and getting efficient so we can be better at what we do. So although it was a great year and we're super proud of 2022, 2023 is going to be even better, and we have to learn how to get out of the way. We have a solid, when I say a rock solid team, we have a rock solid team, and we have to get out of their way and let them grow and let them do what they know how to do best. So Joey and I are focusing a lot on that this year. So it's going to be really great. And when I talk about processes, something really struck me in the last couple days, really. So I'll talk about it. We have some projects going on here. And one big one that happened recently, we are members of Service Nation Alliance. It's a best practices group for HVAC electrical contractors and plumbing contractors. We're very involved in that. We were asked to do a contractor tour on March 24th. Okay? Found out about this about a week and a half ago. Whoa. First of all, a contractor tour is where everyone in Service Nation, everyone that's part of that group, is invited to our location in South Boston, Virginia. These are successful HVAC contractors. They are invited to come see how we do things here. What? You'll hear me say that a lot. What? Is this real life? So we were asked to open our doors to contractors throughout the United States to show them how we do things. So great. And we have, 25 days to make this happen and get organized for this. So how are we going to do that? Oh my gosh, we have a lot to accomplish. We already know we have goals in place, but now, we're going to open our doors to people in the industry so they can see how we do things. So it's time to get our shit together, right? So we came up with a list of everything that we need to accomplish leading up to it. And it's amazing when you put a list together. When we talk about processes, let's not talk about it. Let's just do it. We put that list together and everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, and you just see that list diminishing and check marks and all of the things. And so something that really stuck out to me recently is We are so good at talking about all the things that need to be done, but we're not the best at saying it's going to be done by this date. So what this contractor tour has taught me about business and how to accomplish things, we know that this stuff has to be done by the 24th because we have people coming to see what we do and how we do it. So things are getting done. Nothing gets done if you don't have a date tied to it, if you don't have a deadline tied to it, if you don't have a goal tied to it, it's not going to be done. So my advice to you and my advice to everyone is to put a timeline on what you want to accomplish. When do you want to accomplish it by? Do you want to accomplish it by next week? Is it doable by next week? Do you want to accomplish it by the end of the year? Let's put goals in place to really help us get to where we want to go or where we want to grow. So that is what's been going on at Rogers so far this year. We have had a lot of great stuff going on. I'm not going to go into it again because you don't want to hear my sob story, but last week you heard about the sucker punches and how it's not always great. And I know that March is going to have its challenges too, but we're going to have wins. And I can't wait to talk to you about it the first week of every month about an inside view here. So like I said, anything that you want to know that's going on at Rogers, anything you want to hear about, you just email, text, call. You can call the office number and ask for me. I'm always here. Just call me, talk to me, message me, email me, and I will respond, and I want to hear your feedback. So thank you for listening to all of this today. I can't wait to have some one-on-one time with you each month. And next week, we will have a community member that I'm really excited to talk to. And so here we are, excited about this. We're working on, let me not forget, we're working on some merch, some Rogers Radio merch. So if you're interested in t-shirts, mugs, hats, any koozies, cool things, let me know that and I can hook you up. And just again, thank you for listening each week. And be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. The downloads are awesome. Keep listening, and I will keep bringing you the content that you want to hear. Thank you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.